Treasurer, Avery Seager. Spirit Chair, Lisa Hernandez. Spirit Chair, Emily Garcia. Head Manager, Jenna Mayde. Joseph of the Week is Gary Diaz. Spirit of the Week is George Clemens. The Week is James Putnam Smith. Brigade performs the pause routine tonight to Whitney.
Welcome back to the West Point Buick GMC halftime show. Hope you enjoyed both schools' marching band performances at the half. Katy at the half enjoying a 56-0 lead over the Westside Wolves, as Katy well out in front, and will head off to the area round next week to take on either Cy Ranch or Memorial. Cy Ranch at the half, Ken, are leading Memorial 23-6. If those two indeed lock up next week, it'll be a rematch from the 2012 Region 3 final and last year's state runners-up in Division I and Division II. Should be a fun one next Friday if it is indeed the Katy Tigers and the Cy Ranch Mustangs.
Yeah, by all accounts, it looks like it will be that unless Memorial makes a magnificent comeback in the second half here tonight. And, of course, that game will be over at Tully Stadium next Friday night. And as you mentioned, both of these teams suffered heartbreaking losses in the championship games up at Cowboy Stadium last season. Katy to Cedar Hill, Cy Ranch to Allen, both hoping to get to NRG and having a shot at a home game in the championship round. The only thing the two of them will have to clash in the second round of the playoffs which will be one of the biggest games in the state if it does materialize next Friday night.
Scores of interest from around the greater Houston area. Atascocita with a 25-7 lead over Klein Collins at halftime. Clear Springs leads A-Leaf Taylor 7-0 at the half. Lamar with a 17-3 advantage over Morton Ranch at halftime. Stafford with a 21-12 lead over Sterling. And those are currently the scores of games going on right now within about 25-mile radius. And I am going now to extend that radius to 50 miles to get some additional scores. Cy Creek with a 28-19 lead over Aldine Davis. Clear Creek enjoying a 39-point advantage at halftime over Travis High School. Manville shutting out Channelview at halftime 40-0. The Woodlands 10, Klein Oak nothing, getting ready for the start of the third quarter there. Foster shutting out Elkins 24-0 at intermission. At intermission, North Shore 28, Dobie 10. Westfield with a 21-14 edge over Kingwood at halftime. Spring clinging to a 7-point lead, 14-7 over College Park at the half. Madison trailing Magnolia West 27-13. 9-0 Pearland over Westbrook after 24 minutes. And that wraps up scores from around the greater Houston area. And the statistics speak for themselves in the first half as the Tigers retake the field to get ready for quarter number 3.
Yeah, Katy leading tremendously in every statistical category. 10 first downs to 2. Total yardage, Katy 322, Westside -3. Passing for Katy, 5 of 18, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. Westside 5 of 13 for 13 yards. Third down efficiency, Katy has completed 33% of their third downs, Westside 25%. Individual numbers, Garrett Dorion, 4 of 7 in the first half for a touchdown, 82 yards. Rocky Emery came on at the end of the first half. His one pass was a touchdown for 39 yards. In the backfield, DeAndre Glass, 10 carries, 180 yards, 4 touchdowns. Kadarius Page, 6 carries for 33 yards and a score for Well. For Westside, not much doing offensively. Chase Miller at the quarterback position, 3 of 8 for only 8 yards. McCoy was 1 of 2 for 5 yards. And rushing the football, the only person in positive yardage, Devontae McCoy, 7 carries for only 3 yards.
Expect more of the depth players for the Tigers to see significant time. We already know Garrett Doron's night is done. It was done late in the first half.
Westside will receive the football to begin the second half.
DeAndre Glass with 4 touchdown runs. Kadarius Page has the touchdown run. Doron a touchdown pass to Borowski. Fumble return for a touchdown by Giovanni Stewart. And the Emery pass late in the first half. He connects with Angulo. Dupre will set the ball back on the tee.
if you're Westside, you just want to come out in this second half and try to have fun. You want to try to make some plays offensively. On defense, you want to fly around, try to cause some turnovers, try to strip the football, maybe open up the offense, throw some trick plays in there. Whatever you have in your bag of tricks that you haven't used the entire season, the time is now to let it loose if you're Westside.
Pierce Lacey took it from the 1, got tackled at the 15-yard line by Colton Walker.
And field position was a hidden story in the first half. Katy, tremendous field position on their drives. Most of them starting in or around Westside territory. As for the Wolves, their best starting field position of the night came at their own 41-yard line. Otherwise, they have been pinned inside their own 26.
Some of the depth are out there defensively for Katy, but starters like Hunter Stinson are still there, and we've got pre-snap flags.
Believe it or not, that will be the first penalty of the night against Westside if it goes against the Wolves.
The center got knocked over. That was Eric Laws. And it looks like Katy's actually going to be called for the offsides. Second penalty of the night. Both called on Katy. Game well in hand. Tigers now just want to be able to leave healthy. McCoy starts at the quarterback spot, and on the zone read, he is blasted in the backfield as Michael Mattis found a lane through the offensive line and drops McCoy for a loss of 5 back to the original line of scrimmage.
It gives the 5 yards back on the penalty. Now they have a total of -8 yards from scrimmage here tonight.
Westside have used 3 different players at the quarterback's position. I'm uncertain on how all that works and how you can have success with 3 different quarterbacks playing significant time at the position.
But that was one of the challenges in trying to evaluate this ball game as we see the short running play. You have Miller, Mills, and Williams.
That was Ballard on the run for 4.
All getting snaps. It looks like Williams more so out of the Wildcat, but Mills and Miller, they have both struggled here tonight.
Third down and 5. Ballard in the backfield. And we've got flags as the play clock expired before the snap got back to Dontavian McCoy.
So now that is the first penalty of the night against the Wolves. Katy looks like they have an entirely new defense.
And McCoy's a sophomore, so this obviously a chance for Jamal Mason to evaluate what could very well be his starter moving forward. Alan Mills is a junior. On third down and 10, it's McCoy on a keeper, and he is gobbled up on the edge by Braden Boyd. At the 12-yard line, a loss of a yard. 3 and out to start for the Westside Wolves here in this third quarter.
A quick roll out to the right, and the defense collapses on them very quickly. It's going to be a quick 3 and out. Just like the first half, Katy's going to be set up with excellent field position.
Clayton Odom, the third, back deep to receive. 7th punt of the night for Rios. This one an end over end kick, tracked by Odom as the ball bounces out of bounds at the Westside 40, a 27-yard kick.
Odom's dad used to coach in Lufkin. I remember working with him years ago, back under Coach Outlaw. And Moved out here to the Katy area a few years ago. His son back up on the football team.
So Rocky Emery leads the team out on the field. In at the fullback's position for the first time is Cameron Miller, called up from the sub-varsity for the playoffs. Kadarius Page will dot the I and get a pitch from Rocky Emery. To the edge, corner is turned, flag is thrown. Bradley Onyugafu angling Page out of bounds after a 6-yard carry. A Wolf is slow to get up at the 40-yard line. Penalty likely on the Tigers. Likely negating the 6-yard run by Kadarius Page. Chop block. Tune in to Fox Sports Southwest tonight after our game from 11 to midnight for the Houston High School Football Wrap-Up Show presented by Texan Drive. Join Howard Chen, Ted Johnson, Courtney Rowland, and Courtney Madden as they get you caught up with all of the playoff action. The Houston High School Football Wrap-Up Show presented by Texan Drive tonight from 11 to midnight on Fox Sports Southwest.
So really the only negatives for Katy tonight has been in the penalty department. That is their third penalty of the evening, totaling 30 yards. So move it back to the Tiger 45-yard line, makes it 1st and 25.
The only game from the Region 3 Division 2 bracket that took place last night, upset as Friendswood eliminated previously unbeaten Hightower 27-24. They get the winner of LaPorte and Dawson. Handoff, and Page rumbles to the 43. Make it the 48 for a 3-yard carry.
Page in the first half carried 6 times for 33 yards, averaging 5.5 yards a pop.
Katy will just try to get this second half over with quickly.
You imagine they'll try to milk that 25-second play clock as much as they can.
Emery to throw, slings it over the middle, hauled in by Jackman inside the 35-yard line. Down to about the 33, 15 yards, makes it 3rd down and about 3.
Great throw and catch that time by the big receiver coming across the middle. Rogers got his big paws up, brought it in. It's going to be 3rd down. We'll call it 3.
5 catches now this season for Grant Jackman. Third down and 3. Page on the pitch, eludes a tackle, 1st down and more. Down to the 20-yard line. 13-yard gallop, Raylon Berry comes back to bring down Page.
Jordan Elliott, big number 95, we talked about earlier, with a lot of scholarship offers, whiffed on the tackle that time, allowing the tailback Page to pick up the 1st down.
Second consecutive 3rd down conversion. Go back to the first half. Tigers are 2 for 4 on 3rd downs tonight.
So they end up converting a 1st and 25.
Back on the ground, right up the gut, it is Page. Steady diet, and a healthy one at that, of Kadarius Page so far in this first series of the 3rd quarter. Down to the 13-yard line. Page with a gain of 4.
Just running over that right side behind Jack B. and Chase McKnight. Opening up some huge running lanes for their tailbacks this evening.
Austin Brown is checked into the lineup. Hudson to the top of your screen. Brown in motion. Handoff. And it's the fullback rumbling ahead, Cameron Miller. Down to the 6-yard line, 1st down yardage on a 9-yard carry.
Coach Joseph trying to get everyone into the action tonight.
And it's first down and goal for the Tigers. They will scrimmage from the Wolves' 6-yard line. Page to the outside. He is tackled around the 3-yard line. Is crashing in Lawrence Emmanuel.
It's somewhat surprising to see how easy it's been for this Katy offense to run against this big front four of Westside. I mean, these are some big guys in the middle of this defense. And they don't get pushed around easily very often. But the Katy O-line has had their way with them tonight. Part of the problem is their linebacking crew is so small, they really don't offer a lot of support in the run game.
All 3 underclassmen, sophomore and 2 juniors. Here's Page, and that's his 2nd touchdown of the night. 3-yard touchdown run, Kadarius Page. And the Tigers have broken the 60 plane here in this first-round playoff game. Alex Dupre out for the point after. And he splits the uprights. 4:59 left in quarter number 3. 63-0 Tigers here in this bi-district round playoff game. Here's your Cane Island Drive summary. 3-yard touchdown run, Kadarius Page, his 2nd of the game, his 8th for the season. A 7-play, 40-yard drive, 4 minutes and 16 seconds, the time of the possession. Dupre adds the extra point, and with 4:59 remaining in quarter number 3, the Tigers now lead it 63-0.
I think that 4-minute, 16-second drive is probably longer than all of their scoring drives in the first half combined.
Probably right. It's not going to look so easy or be that easy next week, especially if Cy Ranch are able to defeat Memorial. Cy Ranch only with 1 loss this season. It came to Cinco Ranch back in the first weekend of the regular season. Dupre kicks it off. Pierce Lacey from the 3. Over the 15, there's no blocking downfield, and I wouldn't blame him if he just took a knee at this point.
Well, at least it would get him out to the 20 if the ball would get to the end zone. Yeah, the special teams blocking has been non-existent on kickoffs here tonight for Westside, and that has really played a factor in this ball game, as they really have not had a chance offensively to operate with any type of field position.
McCoy. They may be generous and give him the 20. Instead, they're going to stop him at the 19, a 3-yard run. The scout that was here for Cy Ranch saw all he needed to see, and he was the only one out of the participating schools that would have played Katy next week, or even in 2 weeks' time, to have made it today.
If you don't know Katy by now, you'll never know him.
Chatting with Jamal Mason before kickoff tonight, he said that Katy is the standard. It's what everybody chooses to want to be. It's, though, Jalen Williams who can't haul that one in, but they are the standard. They set the bar in this city for what teams like Westside want to be. It's going to be a slow build, but Mason is in it for the long haul. He's been at Westside High School for 10 years. Gary Joseph has been at Katy High School for 31 years. This is year number 12 for Gary at the helm of the Katy High School football program, taking over for Mike Johnston. Here's Mills over the middle. He fires complete. Darian Jamison to the 30-yard line.
12-yard reception, picks up a first down. I think that's the first down since the first drive of the game.
That's right. 3 for the game. Jamison's third catch of the night, 27 yards receiving. First pass completion for Mills. As the clock rolls to 3:40 left here in the third quarter, 63-0 Tigers, and penalty markers fly.
It looks like the offensive tackle jumped early. That'll back him up 5. Looks like Rocco Mariani got a head start.
Katy High School had participated in 13 total state championship games. They are 7-6 in those games. Gary Joseph, as a head coach at the state level, 3-4 record. Last state championship came in come from behind fashion against Cedar Hill back in 2012. McCoy on the pump fake. He's in trouble, and he gets gobbled up at the 25. So no lost yardage, no sack. And the offensive line just overmatched, even with the depth players, which, you know, Michael Mattis is still out there, and he's a starter. Ryder Anderson is out there. Jaquan Gotha, number 95 out there. He's a depth player, plays behind Joey Woodring.
When you go with these 5 receiver sets, if you're Westside, if you're the quarterback, you have to get rid of the football.
Mills now in as the quarterback for the Wolves. Here they come again, and he lofts one up the right sideline, single coverage. Pass is incomplete, a stride too much for LaDarian Jamison.
Yeah, these are throws where you just drop back and just throw it up for grabs. Hope that your receiver can make a play. Katy backing off defensively, may have an opportunity at some crossing routes or a couple of screen passes. Little comeback routes, try to work it underneath just to pick up some positive yards.
Felipe Alvear in coverage. A 3rd and 15 play. And again, Mills already being attacked by Ryder Anderson. The throw is incomplete. And a flag thrown late. Cameron Villamil was the intended receiver.
Mills under all kind of heat from Ryder Anderson. Came through untouched.
Matt Kissimis might have been in coverage, or could have been Colton Walker, number 20, over on the far side. James Kelly, our referee, has not been all that busy tonight. Pass interference called on Katy.
Officials a little confused on where to spot the football. They decide on 35.
35 yards and penalties just in this third quarter called on the depth players of the Katy Tigers.
Be the 4th first down of the night for Westside.
McCoy on the direct run.
Oh my goodness.
Gets twisted down at the 4, make it the 37.
He nearly got turned into a pretzel on that quarterback keeper.
Ryder Anderson leading the charge. Anderson, 6'5", 220 pounds, a lean junior.
He'll need to put some meat on those bones if he wants to continue to play that position, particularly at the next level.
Good to see Patty Fisher make a play defensively back in the first half. He didn't see any time much at all, really. got him out there for a play. He dressed tonight. There's a floater this side of the field that is overthrown. Ladarian Jamison was the intended target. Allen Mills, along with the rest of the Wolves on offense, just had a tough night tonight. Trailing 63-0, 1:31 left in the third.
Jamison came into this ball game averaging 6.5 yards per carry. He didn't get any carries in the first half.
Quick screen complete. Mills is able to connect with his receiver. Out to the 41-yard line for 4 yards. And Jamison on the receiving end. But it's going to result in 4th down. Westside compete in 26A, and it's not known to be the most competitive of districts. They finished in 4th place, an overall below 500 record of 4-6. 4th down and 3. Mills slings it over the middle. That is complete for a 1st down to Kylan Jackson at midfield. 8 yards on the hookup.
Good execution that time. Again, an underneath route that we just talked about moments ago. Try to go behind the linebackers in front of the safeties. Try to find that soft spot in the Katy defense. They do it there on 4th down and get the 1st down conversion.
For my money, the toughest district in Region 3 is 17-6A with the Cy-Fair schools.
Oh, without a doubt, top to bottom. It's one of the toughest districts in the state.
Ballard into Katy territory at the 48-yard line, and that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Katy Tigers 63, the Westside Wolves nothing. Back in a moment, right after this on Texan Live.
DQ, this is the stop sign of Texas. How does your typical Texas mom stop the afternoon munchies?
Mom, we're hungry!
With a quick stop at DQ. From great DQ desserts like the Blizzard to classic dip cones, shakes, sundaes, and more. Because DQ has something for everybody. For the best treats and eats in Texas, there's only one place to stop. DQ, this is the stop sign of Texas.
As a Ford employee, I get to give my friends a special deal on cars, trucks, and SUVs.
It's friends and neighbors pricing, and for a limited time, we're letting everyone in on this deal.
That doesn't happen every day.
And you can see the low price at Ford.com.
There it is.
And that's the low price you'll pay.
It's that easy.
You don't have to negotiate, it's hassle-free. It's an inside deal.
Now for everyone.
America's best-selling brand now offers friends and neighbors pricing to everyone on all Ford vehicles, but only for a limited time at your participating Texas Ford dealer.
Alongside our producer, Andrew Marthin, Ken Moore, Michael Silvers. Glad you're still with us from Rhodes Stadium in Katy. 63-0 Tigers on 2nd down. Mills over the middle. It's tipped and intercepted by Matt Kissimis. And Kissimis picks it off for the first time this season, and he takes it back into Wolves territory at the 43.
Well, again, another drop pass by a receiver. The old tip drill right into the hands of the waiting defensive back, Matt Kissimis, and he brings it up across midfield into Westside territory. But the receivers for Westside have not helped out their quarterbacks here tonight. Another turnover, their 4th on the evening.
Hayden Baker now at the controls of the Tiger offense, number 11.
That was a 12-play drive by Westside that ended in a turnover.
West Chance, first carry. Hit by Anyugafu and dropped at the line of scrimmage. Update from the Berry Center in the 3rd quarter. A 37-6 lead for the Cy Ranch Mustangs over the Memorial Mustangs. Westside player down, so we will step aside. 22 seconds in to the 4th quarter, 63-0 Katy.
Register online at CESperformance.com for your sports performance program. CESperformance.com has multi-month memberships and team training. CESperformance.com has baseline performance testing included with every athletic development program. Schedule your athletic evaluation at CESperformance.com. There's no cost or commitment. Be prolific at CESperformance.com.
That's Tyrell Smith, starting middle linebacker, sophomore for Westside, being assisted off the field. Hope everything is okay with the young sophomore, but getting back to the game out at the Berry Center, 37-6 Cy Ranch, certainly setting things up for a rematch from the 2012 Division II Region 3 championship game. Katy had a 56-0 lead at halftime, or excuse me, they had put up 56 points at halftime in that game. They totally dominated the Mustangs, and perhaps some revenge will be on the minds of Gene Johnson and his Mustangs as the teams will converge on the Tully Stadium next Friday night in an area-round matchup in a game worthy of regional championship status. Baker on the draw play. Chance actually falls down because his offensive lineman that was trying to block for him got pushed back and made contact with the ball carrier, Robert Lofton, in on the offensive line. It's a loss back to the 49 of 6 yards.
Well, Westside now stacking the line of scrimmage, knowing that Katy's just going to try to run this football and wind this clock down. That time they had 9 men up near the line of scrimmage to stop that running play.
Jacoby Kennedy lines up bottom of your screen. Tyler Pullig is out there. This is sub-varsity players getting some time as Chance will scamper it down to the 46-yard line. A 4-yard pickup. And the punt team out, and that means Michael Mattis for the second time. And you wonder how everything is with Michael Vasquez, who is the punter of record for the Tigers this season.
Maybe just an opportunity to get Mathis some work in case of emergency. We hope that's all it is.
Good snap back, and
oh my,
he's got a leg.
Not bad for your backup punter.
No, indeed, and down to the 11. 35-yard punt. Certainly looks like he's got the leg, and again, you're concerned as you see Dylan Vasquez, number 88, is down there, and he's a member of the Vasquez clan. But Michael, who punted last week 7 times and averaged over 41 yards a kick in the Cinco Ranch game, is nowhere to be seen, at least from this vantage point.
Well, familiar territory for Westside, starting deep. This time they'll scrimmage from their own 11.
McCoy hands it off. Jamison to the outside, and he is sliced down. Clayton Odom III dropping Jamison for a loss of 3. First run of the game for Jamison, who came in 51 carries, 330 yards, 5 touchdowns, averaging 6.5 yards a carry.
And again, just hard to run laterally against this quick Katy defense. You have to try to go north and south, not east and west against these guys.
Second down and 13. Might be a little bit easier to exit the stadium out of the parking lot tonight. Here's Ballard off the option pitch. Chopped down in the backfield. Yeah, they'll give him back to the line of scrimmage. Good solid tackle made in the open field by Felipe Alvear.
Yeah, some of the fans starting to hit the exits. Somewhat of a chilly night for these parts. Temperatures down in the mid-50s.
How long did it take you to get out of the parking lot last week? Did you time it?
It's probably about an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's Katy Cinco Ranch for you. Third down and 13. Mills fires.
Oh.
That's picked off. Clayton Odom the third at the 15, down to the 14-yard line as he jumped the route and picks it off. And that is the third interception thrown by Westside quarterbacks tonight.
Their 5th turnover on the evening. That's a recipe for disaster against a bad team, let alone against the number 2 team in the state.
Westside will finish their 2015 campaign 4-7, similar to last year when they entered this first round of the 2014 postseason, 4-6 and lost 73-7 to Katy.
Cooper Callan.
And right up the middle, untouched, Mason Rivera galloping into the end zone, and Katy have 69 points and an extra point away from breaking 70 for the second consecutive season in the playoffs in the first round against Westside. And a penalty on the defense. Touchdown will stand. And out comes Dupre.
Stats for Rivera, so.
Yeah, he's a call-up.
I'm assuming that's his first carry of the season.
I don't know if Katy's statistics and statistical team reached down to the JV. Who knows?
Probably not.
14-yard run, Mason Rivera. Dupre. Katy have 70. 70-0 over Westside. We're back in just a moment. Texan Live is your new home for Houston High School sports, and the road to state continues tomorrow at TexanLive.com. Cinco Ranch matches up with Bel Air. That's a Division I by-district round game. Kickoff at 1 p.m. and then at 6, it's New Caney against Nederland. It's the road to state on Texan Live, your new home for Houston High School sports. And a Caney Island scoring summary, a 14-yard run by Mason Rivera, a 14-yard drive. 5 seconds off the clock. Dupre tacks on the extra point, 70-0, with the Katy Tigers out in front with 7:51 left here at Rhodes Stadium. So apparently the Tigers don't go any deeper than Chris Perez and Alex Dupre at the place kicking position. Westside will begin on their own 15.
Well, their second half possessions for Westside, very much like the first half. 3 of their 4 possessions have began at the 15. The other one began at the 11. 2 interceptions here in the period. 1 leading to a score.
Here's a pass and a bobble, but a catch by Kylan Jackson. Flag down at the 19-yard line. Jackson tackled by Matt Kissimis. Right now, as it stands, it's about an 8-yard pass play. But James Kelly, our head official tonight, after a conference, will tell us all that the penalty is on Westside. All 3 of their penalties have taken place here in the second half.
Yep.
A little over 3 minutes left to play in the third quarter out at the Berry Center. Cy Ranch cruising to a 44-6 lead over Memorial.
Head-on collision next week at Tully. Katy and Cy Ranch. 2 Houston squads that made the championship game last year. One of them will be going home very early.
Snap through the legs of Mills, but I think the play was blown dead before the snap. Flag down on the far side.
He got decked by Anderson.
In the last 2 seasons, Katy have had leads in the second half against Cedar Hill in the last 2 state championship games. They just could not win those games. Cedar Hill with come-from-behind victories, much like the Tigers had in 2012. Cy Ranch hung with Allen for the better part of the first half of the game, and Allen, if they can get back to the Division I state final, could win a state championship for the 4th consecutive year, and the first without Kyler Murray at quarterback. Here's Mills with a pass. Going down to get it, Jamison at the 12-yard line. Gain of 6 on the hookup.
It's going to be very interesting as we get deeper to this playoff run. See which teams can survive. Of course, the state championships will be here in Houston for the first time in quite a while.
2008. Katy won it that year over Wiley. There's another interception. Alvear, touchdown.
No effort by anyone on Westside to make the tackle.
That was Kissimis, my apologies. His second of the game and his first taken back for 6.
See, just a floater over the head of the receiver, and this is going to be a 31-yard interception return. And the Wolves are ready to go to the house.
Here's Dupre to make it 77-0.
Katy's high point for the year was 84-zip over Tompkins. They have a chance at equaling that tonight.
Timeout. 77-0 Katy. Fans, make sure to log on to TexanLive.com each and every week to vote for the Cavenders Player of the Week. Then tune in every Friday night into the Houston High School Football Wrap-Up Show presented by Texan Drive to see who Courtney Madden showcases as the Cavenders Player of the Week on Fox Sports Southwest. Well, my broadcasting duties are done after tonight. Ken has a college game tomorrow. SWAC game, right?
Yep. Be doing TSU and Alcorn over at BBVA. So if you want to get out, check out a little college football tomorrow afternoon. Come on out.
Nice return by McCoy. Number 3 out to the 42-yard line after a 31-yard interception return by Matt Kissimis. Not only his second interception of the game, but a pick 6 to boot. That's your Cane Island scoring summary. The extra point by Dupre, good, 77-0. The Katy Tigers exceed their point output from a season ago in this round against Westside. They scored 73 last year, 77 here in 2015. And the offense back to work, trying to avoid a shutout. Here's McCoy on the direct run. Right up the middle for a pair. If Katy can hold on and get the shutout, it'll be their 5th in a row, 8th for 2015. Don Clayton told us, the head coach of Cinco Ranch before the game last week, that in all the years he spent at Katy as an assistant coach and his 16 years at Cinco Ranch High School, this is the best Katy defense he has ever seen.
Well, I would concur. I've seen this team play for the last 15 years or so, and they haven't looked much better than they do right now.
They've allowed 8 points, and that was their most amount of points given up in a game this season. And that was to Seven Lakes back on October the 10th, penalty on Westside. They allowed 7 to the Woodlands. That was their closest win of the year, a 7-point victory back on September 11th in week 3. Woodlands, last we checked, were on top of Klein Oak at halftime in a game which, if you're a Woodlands fan, you hate to have to play Klein Oak because Klein Oak has eliminated you recently, but it looks like revenge will be a dish best served cold for the Woodlands over Klein Oak tonight.
A couple of scores as we check the Twitter feed. Pearland Dawson 24-zip over LaPorte at the end of the 3rd.
That's going to be the end of the run for Jeff LaRoe and the Bulldogs, it would appear.
Pearland 29-zip over Westbrook.
And on 3rd down, McCoy is taken down at the 45 for a loss of 2.
Westfield 35, Kingwood 14. 8.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter there.
I was wondering about that Pearland score. They were up 9-0 at halftime. And Mike Johnston, former head coach here at Katy High School, a legend in this part of town, was in attendance in the press box like he is normally. He wasn't here last week. He attended a funeral up in Nacogdoches. But he was saying that he had seen Westbrook a few times this season, was very impressed as McCoy on 4th down, fails to get a 1st down. He is stopped at the 49. He gains 4, but it's a turnover on downs.
Other scores from around the area. Crosby up 35-zip over Lumberton, beginning the 2nd half there.
And a score of statewide significance, especially if you are a Katy fan. The Cedar Hill Longhorns, the back-to-back state champions, and the team that has basically told Katy that you're not going to win an 8th state championship against us. Well, if they win an 8th state championship this year, it may not be against Cedar Hill. They're trailing by 14 to South Lake Carroll.
Wow.
Up in the DFW area in the Region 1 bracket of the Division II playoffs. There's a run of 7 yards by Chance. Of course, South Lake Carroll and Katy, no strangers to one another. They've played twice in the state final, Katy winning in 2003. The Dragons getting their revenge at Texas Stadium in Irving back in 2005. Drop snap by Callan from his center. And Westside appear to have recovered, at least they think they have.
They have.
And they get a turnover back. So another opportunity to avoid a Tiger shutout. .301 remaining here in the bi-district round matchup at Rhodes Stadium. This could very well be the final time Katy play here at Rhodes. They'll play Cy Ranch next week at Tully. And then you start entertaining NRG Stadium as a site for playoff games in the regional bracket. Of course, in years past, it would seem that Tully was Katy's second home in the playoffs. Here's a pitch to Jamison to the outside. Couldn't turn the corner as Odom knocked him out of bounds at the 45.
Of course, it'll have a lot to do with the Texan schedule and a couple of college football bowl games at NRG next month as well.
Makes life so much easier now that it's field turf for the Texans as well as collegiate and high school games at NRG.
Never understood why it took them so long to come around to that.
It only took injuries to their best players, or what they're supposed to be their best players. I think a lot of people can start to begin the conversation that Jadavion Clowney could be a bust with how high he was drafted. Another run that nets a few yards, so it's 3rd down and 4 for the Wolves on their own 48.
Coming upon 2 minutes to go in this one. See if Westside maybe tries to throw one up deep. See if they can maybe get a deflection or a pass interference or, heaven forbid, a long reception.
Wolves are 2 for 11 on 3rd downs. They converted their first 2 3rd downs of the game and have gone over for their last 9. On the pitch, Mills finds DeGeneral Ballard.
Oh,
first
he ran
down.
into his own guy, made the tackle.
Converts the first 3rd down since that first offensive series to the Tiger 44-yard line. That's a gain of 8 yards.
Kalen Jackson, number 15, got in his way. If not, that may have been a big gainer. He had a wide open running lane to the right side, did Ballard. Westside with all 3 timeouts if they choose to use them.
Rolling to 1:10 left to play.
They want to try to avert the shutout.
Miller launches one. Tipped.
Almost.
Knocked away by Odom III as Crenshaw was targeted for that one. That's 4 straight incomplete passes for Miller. He is 3 for 7 for 9 yards. Mills 4 of 8 for 30 yards. McCoy has a completion for 5 yards. Those are the 3 quarterbacks used by Westside tonight.
Probably a handful of drops by the Wolf receivers this evening.
Back on the ground as Miller hands it off. And McCoy is dropped for loss of 2. Back outside the 45. 17 rushes either by handoff or by calling his own number. McCoy stuffed for just 4 yards tonight.
Well, Westside's going to end the season very disappointed their last 2 performances. They'll end up 4-7. Lost 59-zip to Lamar last week, and unless they can get on the scoreboard here, they're going to go down 77-zip tonight.
A combined total of 136-0 as Jamison can't get to the boundary. Thrown out of bounds at the 45, stopping the clock with 12 seconds to go. It'll be 4th down for Westside. Katy won their 30th district title last week. Shutout win over Cinco Ranch, another by-district round trophy to add to their collection. Miller, the quarterback, on this 4th down play. A handoff to DeGeneral Ballard, and he breaks tackles to get a 1st down to the 20 with 4 seconds to go. Do they call timeout?
I would.
They do call timeout with 3 seconds to go. That's going to set the chains. And I think Westside will spin their timeout. Obviously, the clock stops to set the chains. And no, they won't. They won't call a timeout to try to maybe get it into the end zone on the game's final play. We have come to a final here at Rhodes Stadium in Katy, Texas. The final score, the Katy Tigers 77, the Westside Wolves nothing. We'll return to wrap it all up after these messages. You're watching the 2015 UIL playoffs on Texan Live.
Download the new Fox Sports Southwest Football Friday app. Connect and get live scores statewide. Find games near you. Plus, get your photos on our Friday night show. This is the one app that can handle high school football in Texas. Hit the App Store and type Football Friday. Friday high school football isn't over till you watch High School Scoreboard live. Final scores, big plays, plus the DQ Big Game of the Week.
Be a part of the most watched high school football show in Texas.
Friday on Fox Sports Southwest.
Only one network is big enough to cover the great state of Texas, and only one show travels across the state to get the skinny on high school sports every week, all year long. You want the best in high school sports? Catch High School Spotlight on Fox Sports Southwest.
By district champions, the Katy Tigers, with 100 playoff wins, with their victory 77-0 over the Westside Wolves tonight at home. 77-0. It was 73-7 last year. 5 consecutive shutouts now. Kenmore, 8 for the season. The Katy Tigers continue to roll for their quest for 8 state championships.
Well, just a bigger, faster, stronger football team here for Katy. Much more depth. Twice as big of a roster as Westside. The Wolves fought valiantly, had a pretty decent start to the ball game, but once the turnover started happening, 6 on the night, things just spiraled out of control. Katy with some very short fields and about 5 touchdowns that took less than a minute in this ball game tonight, and it was pretty much a whitewash after that as Katy rose 77-zip.
Glass leading the way on the ground, 10 carries, 180 yards, ties his record for a freshman with 4 touchdowns in this game. Kadarius Page with a pair of touchdowns, 56 yards on 10 carries. Garrett Doron threw a touchdown. He only had to throw the ball 5 times. And, you know, this was a team that last week, Ken, only rushed for 50 yards against Cinco Ranch. And it proved one thing, that if the running game is contained, they can throw to win ball games. Tonight, the running game was what paced the club. They got turnovers, pick sixes, fumbles returned, 4 touchdowns, a little bit of everything. Good special teams play, a solid all-around performance, but it's going to get a whole lot tougher next week.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going up against the Cy Ranch Ball Club that made the state finals last year, just as Katy did. They're going to be a very relevant foe. Things are going to get tougher as the playoffs proceed for these Katy Tigers, but a good tune-up tonight against Westside.
If you're Westside, what did you learn tonight about your kids, about your program moving forward as they begin off season and get ready for a 2016 season?
Well, honestly, tonight you didn't learn anything. It's what you learned over the course of the season, and really the turning point after they started off 0-3 in non-district play, to see that team fight back to go 4-3 in district play and make the playoffs. That in itself was a victory for the Westside program to keep their streak of years making the playoffs intact. And then now you want to try to continue to build upon that. You won't want to go into next season as the 4th seed in the playoffs. You maybe try to want to elevate to a 3rd or a 2nd seed so that you can avoid these type of matchups in the first round.
As you take a look at some of the highlights from today's game and the fumble return for the touchdown by Giovanni Stewart. The Katy Tigers, with their 77-0 victory over the Westside Wolves, have combined for 150 points against the Wolves over the course of the last 2 playoffs and pitch another shutout, their 8th for the season. And now we'll see them against Cy Ranch next Friday night, Tully Stadium. Last we checked, the Mustangs with a 44-6 lead in the 3rd quarter. So it's all going to be set up next week. Tully Stadium should be a fun one. Ken, I hope you get better. Enjoy your college game tomorrow.
Will do. Appreciate it, buddy.
All right, for Ken Moore and our producer, Andrew Marthin, this is Michael Silvers saying so long from Road Stadium. The Katy Tigers onward to the area round with a 77-0 victory over the Westside Wolves. Until next Friday, so long, everybody.